Alright, if you haven't noticed, I've done a decent amount of Five Nights at Freddy's challenge runs, but there's always been one game that I haven't done a challenge in, FNaF World. People have done a bunch of cool challenges in this game, but I could never think of one that was hard enough. And then I thought, why not do them all? Okay, maybe I am insane. In today's video, I should probably stop saying that. It's time for the Impossible FNaF World Challenge. Before I dive headfirst into this challenge and break my neck, we first need to go over the rules for this impossible challenge. Rule number 1 is pretty obvious. The game must be beaten on hard difficulty. When starting a new game, you choose between easy and hard difficulty. And of course, I'm going hard. Wait a second. Up next, rule number 2, I am only allowed to use the starter characters. In FNaF World, unless you're a weirdo and play fixed party mode, there are 40 additional characters you can encounter and add to your party, with all of them being stronger than the starters. I can't use any of them. My party can only ever consist of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and their toy variants. Rule number 3, no leveling up. My characters must stay at level 1 the entire time. I did this by modding the game to make each character require an ungodly amount of XP to level up to make sure they never do. Rule number 4, no moves. There's a ton of different moves your characters can do, such as attacking the enemy, applying effects to your party, or healing. Yeah, no. Regardless of what happens, I can never click any of the move bubbles that appear throughout a fight. Rule number 5, no upgrades. This rule is probably the weirdest rule, but essentially what it means is I cannot use anything that directly affects my party. So I can't get armor upgrades from Mendo's shop, and I also can't use specific bytes and chips. The banned bytes in this challenge are the med pods because they heal our characters, and the reapers for a reason I'll mention in a bit. If you're wondering why the shield bytes aren't banned, it's because they don't change our character. They just absorb damage. Think of them as like digital meat shields. That sounds weird. Also, if you were wondering about the two special bytes, the fan and the pearl, they're both banned. We can't even get the fan, and the pearl heals my party. As for the banned chips in this challenge, they are Head Start and Endless, Defense, Strength, and Speed because they apply a buff to the party, Auto Gift Boxes and Auto Regen because they give my party extra lives and heal them respectively, and lastly, Block Jump Scare and Block Unscrew, because unlike the shields, these directly make my party immune to an attack. I don't know, I'm kind of just making this shit up. Finally, the last rule, rule number 6, no insta-kills. The game has many different attacks and bytes, the Reapers, that can insta-kill enemies and even bosses with good enough RNG. For obvious reasons, all of these are banned, because if they weren't, the video would just consist of this. Yay, we did it. As always, if you want to see all the proof for this video, it will be available on my second channel, Chicken Ninja 43, or in the description. And with all that said, I think it's time to see if the Impossible FNaF World Challenge is truly impossible. Upon spawning into Animatronic Village-Tronica Town, the first problem we have is I can't do anything. Alright, instead of looking at the whole picture, we've got to focus on one very specific thing. What picture are you looking at? The thing we need to focus on is figuring out how to deal damage without attacking. Although, the answer is simple. Lolbit. Not Lolbit himself. I'm not even gonna try. Not Lolbit, but Lolbit's Byte Store. Throughout the game, there are 7 different locations where Lolbit appears. At each, Lolbit will sell 3 different bytes. Fortunately, there are 3 different stores we can reach without ever having to fight anything. One in Fazbear Hills, one in Choppy's Woods, and one in Dusting Fields. The second one sells med pods, which are banned, and the third sells the Reapers, which are also banned. Alright, well, we're definitely not on a hot streak. But don't worry, because my problems are solved. The very first Lolbit store in Fazbear Hills sells the B-Bytes. By the way, before I explain how these bytes work, I got a ton of information for this video from the FNaF World Wiki, as well as these 2 YouTube channels, DarkSR and RYZ, that. Both of them make amazing guides on lots of FNaF World's features, so if you ever want to learn more about FNaF World, make sure to check them both out. Now, back to the nerd shit. The 3 bytes have a 1 in 3 chance to fire a stinger at the enemy that can deal between 15 to 24 damage, with the gnat having a chance to fire every 2 seconds, the neon bee having a chance every second, and the neon wasp having a chance every half a second. Unfortunately, Lolbit's store is dumb and requires us to pay for stuff using Faz tokens. I guess this game's too cool for armed robbery. Instead, we need to go beat up some of the local population for their money. How do we kill them? By using the bytes. Oh shit. Luckily, we can always rely on the homie Scott to hook us up, because in the spawning area, there's a chance for chests to spawn in these locations. Upon loading into the game, 8 chests will have a chance to spawn in random locations, 7 of them being gray, rewarding us with 10 Faz tokens, and 1 of them being golden, rewarding us with 50 Faz tokens. Oh yeah, we're back. By constantly reloading the area, we can collect 250 Faz tokens to buy all 3 bytes, and now we can finally deal damage. With my newfound method of committing assault, we can head on over to Dusting Fields to face this game's first necessary boss, Bouncer. Bouncer is a super sick ass snowman with guns, but statistics wise, in hard mode, he has 2000 health and can do 2 different attacks. The basic attack, which will deal between 120 and 158 damage, and the snowball attack, which deals a random amount of damage to all 4 active party members individually. However, the snowball attack will never kill them. At most, it will leave a party member on 1 HP. But come on, we've got all 3 Bs. There's no way we can lose this. Oh, that's bad. Okay, just the bytes alone aren't gonna get us past this boss. So, now it's time to go collect some chips. Many of the available chips are, to put it nicely, dog shit, and they're banned. But there are 2 chips that we can grab, which are going to become very important. Evercomet Week and Quick Start Party. Firstly, Evercomet Week is available here in Choppy's Woods, requiring us to walk through this fake tree and then defeat an auto chipper. This guy doesn't get a cool intro card. I know it might seem a bit backwards to avoid fighting a boss just to fight another boss, but the auto chipper only has 600 HP and does between 80 to 118 damage, so we can get past it without issue. With this chip equipped, stars that deal between 25 to 35 damage will crash down onto the enemy with a 1 in 10 chance to do so every second. Basically, it's just more overall damage. The weirder chip is Quick Start Party. Quick Start Party is located here in Dusting Fields, and is designed to be available after defeating Bouncer, by entering the glitched world, entering this portal, and then grabbing the chip. But instead of doing all that, you can just walk through this tree and grab it. It's that simple. With Quick Start Party equipped, it essentially delays the opposing team's attacks at the start of the fight. So instead of Bouncer doing his first attack around 4 seconds into the battle, he has to wait a total of around 8 seconds. With these 2 chips added to our arsenal, we now get more damage overall and survive for much longer. So let's see if that's enough to defeat Bouncer. The strategy for this boss and a lot of the other ones revolves around one thing: stalling. Since we have no way of upgrading our character's stats, healing them, or stopping them from dying in any way, the only way we can defeat a boss is by surviving long enough for our bytes to deal enough damage. To do this against Bouncer, not only do we need Quick Start Party, but we also need to move around our party members and have the toy animatronics start the fight instead of the originals. The reason for this is the toy animatronics have a 20 health increase compared to the OGs. Original Freddy has 105 HP, Bonnie has 110, Chica has 115, and Foxy has 120. But for the toys, Toy Bonnie has 125, Toy Chica has 130, Toy Freddy has 135, and Mangle has 140. Okay, I get it. You're listening to this thinking I'm just going on another Insane Man yap session for no reason, but I'm not. As I said before, Bouncer's basic attack can do between 120 and 158 damage, and he will do this attack around every 6 seconds. Meaning, if he were to roll a low enough number, any of the 4 toy animatronics could tank a hit and give us an extra 6 seconds of survival time. In addition to that, to ensure the toy animatronics stay at their max HP, we can switch to the OGs to tank the damage from the snowball attack, which occurs every 10 seconds, since it isn't capable of killing. So with the framework set, all we have to do now is get lucky enough for it to actually happen. Yo, the dudes are just not firing anymore. No tanks, bro. Come on. Hit tank 1, please. Bro, I promise. I'm not even asking for that much. Why are we not attacking anymore? No, why are you guys not doing anything? No. No, you just needed to tank 1 thing, bro. You just needed to tank once. Seriously? Yo, are you guys gonna do anything? Yeah. Bro! No. That's man. Bro, it's on my eyes. It's in my eyes. 5 a.m. at Freddy's. 3 a.m. at Diddy's. Come on, bro. Dude. Whoa. What the f? Why am I in the void? The battle music isn't even playing. Bro, the bees through. Yo, are we just like, am I not paying you enough? Why the fuck do the bees just sometimes go on strike? I got big balls. I got big balls. I have to carry them around in a wheelbarrow. That's what I'm talking about. Fuck. Oh my god, that guy has a gun. No, bro, you killed Nightmare Fung Bong. $1,900 mom. What? Unless one of you tanks. No, sirree. SpongeBob. After about 8 hours of resetting, I got a run where all 4 of the toy animatronics tanked a hit. But is that even enough to win the fight? Ooh. Oh, let's go. Let's go, baby. Oh my god, we did it. That's right, the first boss has been defeated, and if you were wondering, oh, well, why didn't he use insert specific chip name here? It's because I didn't want to use it yet. I'll talk about it later. With Bouncer defeated, we unlock pretty much the whole game, but we've got something to do before we can celebrate, because hidden inside the caves behind Bouncer is another amazing chip in this challenge, Ever Comet Strong. It's located right here on the map and is protected by another boss known as the eyeball. Its actual name is Eyesore. It's pink eye. Just like Bouncer, Eyesore has a total of 2000 HP, but it's only capable of dealing between 80 to 118 damage, so this fight is a lot easier, but it still requires a couple of resets, especially since Eyesore can do the unscrew attack. Unscrew is a special attack which targets one party member having a 100% chance to insta-kill that character. However, it doesn't make a big difference, and we can get past Eyesore to pick up Ever Comet Strong. It's pretty much the exact same as Ever Comet Weak, same amount of damage, but it has a 3 in 10 chance every second instead of a 1 in 10. With that grabbed, we can finally leave this area by taking the glitched world to Lily Gear Lake. Oh dude, that's great. Now I can go for a swim. Now that we've made it to the ocean, the world is my oyster. Literally, we can make it to every single remaining area without having to fight a single thing. By moving out and around the lake, we can enter the glitched area through this fake tree, move through the glitch, and end up in the 5th area, Black Tomb Yard. From here, we move down and through this fake tree in order to make it to the deep metal mines, allowing us to enter another glitched area through this gravestone. Once inside, we run through... I'm gonna lose my mind. Eventually, we reach the end of the glitch, landing us in the 6th and final area, the Pinwheel Circus, which is home to our second necessary boss, Browboy. I know it's the final area and all, but this is only the second necessary boss, so it can't be too bad. Oh, fuck. Sadly, we aren't cool enough to hang out with Browboy and his stupid dumbbell arms because he has a grand total of 10,000 HP and does between 500 and 698 damage. Huh? It's okay. It's okay. I have a plan. You just gotta look away from the screen for a bit. Just look away.
The Nintendo women, Samus and Zelda's chin-to-nip distance, 8.5 inches.
Yo,
each.
I said look away from the screen. I'm doing something. Damn. In all actuality, there's only one thing that we can do, and I think you know what time it is. Inkwalla, sorry about that. What I meant was, it's time to go collect some more random garbage. Just like last time, I'm gonna start with the bytes, because now that we have the entire map unlocked, we can reach every single one of Lolbit's shops. The bytes available in these shops are actually really good. The ones that we had at the start were just total dog shit. The two most important bytes, meaning the ones I'm gonna use for this fight, are the UFOs and the boss drains. The UFOs consist of the Mini-Foe, UFO, and X-Foe, with each having a 1 in 3 chance to fire a projectile that deals between 100 and 149 damage. With the Mini-Foe having a chance to fire a projectile every second, the UFO every 0.6 seconds, and the X-Foe every 0.4 seconds. Yeah, they're pretty much just upgraded versions of the bees. The boss drains, however, are completely different. The boss drain bytes are made up of boss drain 1, 2, and X. The names aren't as cool. And the way they work is by dealing a certain amount of damage every frame, with boss drain 1 dealing 1 damage, 2 dealing 2 damage, and X dealing 3 damage. Since the game runs at a constant 60 frames per second, it essentially means 1 does 60 damage a second, 2 does 120 damage, and X does 180 damage. The biggest problem with these bytes is that they are very expensive. To purchase all 6 of them, we need a total of 8,900 Faz tokens. And I'm poor. It isn't the end of the world because we still have enough firepower that I can farm some of the earlier enemies to get enough tokens to buy the Mini-Foe, UFO, and boss drain 1, which should be good enough for the bytes. The other things that need upgrading are my chips. They definitely aren't up to par, but I have 3 specific chips in mind which will help out in this challenge. Freddy Fury, Pizza Fury, and Curse Status. Firstly, Freddy Fury is available by traveling through this false wall in Lilygear Lake, which at the end teleports us into the deep metal mine, where the chip lies guarded by a mad Endo. Mad Endo has a total of 8,000 health and deals between 400 and 418 damage, and he's also a big Christmas guy, or a... What the hell is that?
Christian files.
What? And he's also a big Christian Yamaka file. I don't know who the Christian is. The byte upgrades we just got make the Mad Endo fight pretty easy, allowing us to finish it with 2 party members still alive. Claiming our reward gives us the Freddles, which work pretty similar to the Comets. They have a 1 in 5 chance to spawn every 0.25 seconds and will deal between 20 to 30 damage. Although, they only have a 1 in 3 chance to land a hit every 0.1 seconds that they're in contact with the enemy. For most bosses, they can be in contact for around 0.2 to 0.3 seconds. In the exact same boat, like the exact same, is Pizza Fury. By moving through another false wall just outside of the Pinwheel Circus tent, we reach another chest, yet again blocked by a mad Endo. Surprise, surprise, there's literally no difference. It's the exact same result. We win. Now that we have the chip, pizzas will have a 1 in 3 chance every second to roll at the enemy, with each pizza dealing between 1 and 4 damage. However, they can hit an enemy multiple times. With those 2 chips acquired, it's time to collect probably one of, if not the best chips in this entire challenge, Curse Status. By walking into a green tent located here in Pinwheel Circus, we get teleported into the Deep Metal Mine yet again, where the chip is guarded by, Markiplier. Whoa.
I win every time.
Okay, I lied. It's another Mad Endo. I just wanted to make it interesting. The Curse Status chip applies all 3 debuffs to the enemy team for 45 seconds, starting at the beginning of the fight. These 3 debuffs decrease enemy attacks, making them do 50% less damage, decrease enemy defense, making them take 50% more damage, and decreasing enemy speed, making them take around 30% longer to attack each time. This chip is exactly what we need. Deal more damage and survive for longer. Only problem is we don't actually deal more damage because bite damage is static. Anyways, let's see if it was all worth it.
We're kind of on him right now. Hang on. We're kind of on his goofy ass eyebrow.
Oh yeah, we smoked him. Our new bites dealt so much damage that we beat Browboy with only 5 of our characters dying. So yeah, it was actually worth it. With Browboy defeated, we've gained access to the Pinwheel Funhouse, which we enter by going through this tent. Why are we going in a funhouse? I don't know, but I can tell you that Browboy force-fed me LSD and I died. Moving through the funhouse maze, we run into another problem. The exit that allows us to reach the end of the game is guarded by Freddy on steroids, Bubba. With how well the last fight went, I'm feeling very hopeful for this fight, which I shouldn't be because we get absolutely slaughtered. Quick analysis of the fight, I walked in with an ego bigger than Bubba's forehead, only for Toy Bonnie to do an obituary speedrun. Moving to the end of the fight, everybody dies, and we didn't even get halfway. Looking at the stats, Bubba has a total of 30,000 HP and does between 500 and 698 damage per attack. This is the worst idea I've ever had. If you can't guess what we're about to do now, I suggest you go see a neurologist, because we're back to getting more random shit. Unlike all the other Hoarder segments that we've done, this one is kind of sad. And no, it's not because I'm spending hours of my life playing FNaF World. The real reason is, the only change that we can make to our bites is upgrading the ones that we have already. And it gets even more sad when you look at the price tag. Currently, our best available money farm is killing the enemies in the Black Tomb Yard, because we're not strong enough to defeat anything else. The enemies that spawn here drop between 14 and 29 Faz tokens. Any chance there's a casino in animatronic land or something? Finally, after 5 hours of farming, I got enough tokens to purchase the 3 remaining bites. Now let's see if that even helped at all. Oh! I didn't know whether to write it out or not write it out, but we wrote it out and we won, baby. Okay, so the 3 boss trains was the play. I didn't know whether to go 2-2 on UFOs and boss trains, or 3-1 on UFOs and not. Yes, by the skin of Freddy's animatronic ass, we managed to defeat Bubba. What's our reward? We get to Harry Houdini through a wall, escape from the funhouse, do our final podcast episode with Fredbear, and move through the glitch world to access a secret area in Lily Gear Lake, one that's home to Porkpatch. Porkpatch is the 4th necessary boss to defeat, as he guards the key that allows us to fight the Guardians. As intimidating as this boss looks, especially his grabby hands, he only has 20,000 HP, which is a lot less than Bubba, although he does do between 900 and 1,098 damage. But to that I say, who cares? Our characters have been getting insta-killed since the very first fight in this video. He could do 200 damage, or he could do 1 million. I don't care. Our new and improved bytes make quick work of his 20,000 HP, awarding us with the key. I wish there was a cooler name, but it's just key. This key is used to unlock barriers, which, as I mentioned, contain the Guardians, who guard the buttons that are used to deactivate the security gates leading to the final bosses. The first of these buttons is completely unguarded and is located in the top right of Fazbear Hills. But the second button is located at the bottom of Dusting Fields, and is guarded by our old pal who's back and better than ever, this time with a new name, Snowcone. Snowcone is extremely similar, at least stat-wise, to Bubba. He has the same 30,000 HP, but does a bit more damage on average, dealing between 400 to 998 damage. The reason I said stat-wise is because Snowcone can do 6 different attacks, while Bubba can only do 2. Snowcone's arsenal consists of his basic attack, Toxic Bite, Snowball, Jump Scare, Water Hose, and Escape Key. Toxic Bite inflicts poison on all 4 of our party members. Snowball we've already talked about. Jump Scare stuns all 4 active party members for 5 to 14 seconds. Water Hose insta-kills any of our active party members that are under 30% HP. And Escape Key has a 50% chance to deal 5,000 damage to each of our 4 active party members individually. The only attack out of these that we actually care about is Escape Key, because it can completely ruin a fight if it lands on any of our active party members. By using the exact same loadout as the Bubba fight, I was able to get this promising run in about 10 resets.
Yeah, this is it. Easily. Oh, that wasn't so easily. That was almost not it, but that was it.
There we go, baby. The first Guardian goes down, and we are halfway to reaching the end of the game. The next Guardian is located in the top right of Lilygear Lake, and it's Supergoon. I'm sorry. Supergoon is the Guardian version of Seagoon, a randomly appearing boss in the Lilygear Lake. Just like Porkpatch, Supergoon has a total of 20,000 HP and deals a ton of damage, between 800 and 1,398 damage per hit. However, this boss is not going to be anywhere near as easy as Porkpatch. Not only can 3 of its available attacks insta-kill us, but Supergoon also has a speed of 25. Now, if you are a regular, sane individual, you are probably asking, what the f does that mean? Great question. Essentially, each enemy, boss, and even character is given a speed value that can fluctuate with debuffs, but for the most part, it'll be stable. How it works is, once you spawn into a fight, every 0.07 seconds, 1 to 3 points will be added to a counter. This is changed to every 0.1 seconds if we have the curse status chip on. Once this counter is greater than or equal to the boss's speed, the game will pick a random target out of our 4 active party members and attack. The only thing that can change about this calculation is if we use the jump scare move on the boss. It changes this confuse 2 value to not equal 0, and therefore nothing will be added to the counter. So, as you can tell, a speed of 25 is absolutely terrible. Literally every single boss we've seen in this video, Bouncer, Browboy, Bubba, Porkpatch, and Snowcone, all have a speed of 100. And since my only defensive strategy is to sit there and hope I deal enough damage before I get slapped into the afterlife, a 4x speed increase is definitely not good. You know what? Maybe I'm overthinking all this. The loadout is probably fine. Alright, it's not. The only problem is, I just finished talking about how we already have the best bytes and chips in the game, so does the challenge just end here? No. As good as these bytes and chips are, they will never be better than one thing: gambling. Much to everyone's disappointment, I've already mentioned Fazbear Hill's lack of building to waste money in. The real way we're going to gamble is by creating a loadout which completely relies on RNG. To do so, we need to move back through the game to collect a new byte and a new chip, Kaboom and Counter Byte. I'll start off with the easier of the two to collect, Counter Byte. By defeating Bubba again, moving through this tent, then taking the left tent, and then moving through this false wall, we can find the red chest containing Counter Byte. This chip will counter any attack from the enemy team. Whenever someone from our party receives damage, the enemy will be bit, dealing between 200 and 250 damage. I know that doesn't sound particularly mind-blowing, but it'll be really important later. Next up, the Kaboom Byte. Yup, they put terrorism in FNaF World. Kaboom is the final tier of bomb bytes and can be purchased at Lolbit's store in the Black Tomb Yard. It's not particularly hard to find, but it costs a whopping 4,999 Faz tokens. Motherfuck. With our new UFO bytes, we're able to take out more difficult enemies, more specifically the ones that spawn in the deep metal mine. These enemies drop between 17 and 32 Faz tokens, which does make farming slightly easier, although this did still take a couple hours. Now that I have a bomb, I probably shouldn't say that, we can enter a fight, giving the bomb a 1 in 10 chance to explode every 0.6 seconds. When the bomb does explode, it deals between 1,000 and 5,000 damage. You can probably guess why we're using this. If we get the maximum amount of damage, it does a quarter of the boss's health. So, with the necessary loadout, it's time for the strategy. Starting the fight, we have Boss Drain 2 and X to deal a consistent amount of damage. We can survive for about 28 seconds, meaning we deal about 8,400 with those two bytes. Next, with the Exvo's odds of shooting a projectile and its damage range, it will deal on average around 2,905 damage. And assuming we reset until we get a bomb hit over 4,500, that's about 16,000 out of the boss's 20,000 health. Unfortunately, there is no way the Freddles are going to do that much damage, and as good as Counterbyte is, it only does damage when we take damage, and since we're insta-killed, that's a max of 8 hits. Or is it? Like I said at the start of all this bullshit, Supergoon is capable of doing 4 different attacks. The basic attack, the 2 insta-kill attacks, unscrew and escape key, and finally, the attack that might save this whole run, Hot Cheese. Hot Cheese is an attack that can be done by Crabapple, Prototype, Gold Endo, and of course, Supergoon. The way it works is by summoning 5 blobs of cheese somewhere around our party members. These blobs have a 50% chance to deal between 20 to 24 damage every second, but will only do so to party members touching the cheese. So, since Supergoon has a chance to do a special attack every 10 seconds, we need to not only get lucky with him doing the hot cheese attack early, which I coined as an early cheese, but we also need this cheese to land in a spot where it can hit multiple party members and get lucky with how many times it hits. And oh boy, the required luck doesn't stop there, because like I said, we need a high roll on the bomb damage, and we need the UFO to get lucky with how many times it shoots and how much damage it does. Holy sh**. Bro, give me, oh, cheese, cheese, give me 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 cheese, 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 give me cheese. Ah, no cheese. Did the bomb do 100 damage? Where's the cheese? Bro, where's the cheese? Where's the cheese? He did the cheese attack and then he did. Oh, we're in the void. I fall. Oh, give me cheese. Give me cheese. Give me cheese. Give me cheese. Come on. Come on. You want to give me cheese? You want to give me cheese? You don't want to give me cheese. F you. 15? Ah, no cheese. No. Hey, buddy, old pal, blow him up. Blow him up. Whoa! Show me the cheese! Whoa! Show me the cheese! Oh! Where's the hot cheese damage? 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 What? What? How is that not it, dude? But after a long 6 hours of resets, I got the run of a lifetime. Hang on. Yeah! Let's go! Oh my god! Dude! No way! No way, dude. That was so close to failing. Oh my god! That's why you gamble, baby. Down goes Pokemon's editor. I mean, the Supergooner. I mean, the soup guy. We did it. With Supergoon defeated, we can deactivate the third security gate by pressing the button and push forwards to the final guardian, stopping us from reaching the end of the game. Overclock. We encounter Overclock in the top right of Deep Meadow Mine, and he is by far the hardest boss we've ever faced. Not only does Overclock have 30,000 HP and deal between 400 and 598 damage, but he also has a speed stat of 10, meaning he attacks around every 1.45 seconds. Alright, I changed my mind. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. It's so bad, not even gambling can save us. So, what do we do when faced with a seemingly impossible task? Give up and change the entire loadout all over again. New chips, new bytes, new outlook on life, new name, call me Assassin 38. The new things that we need to add to our inventory at least are the auto shield chip and the shield bytes. To obtain the auto shield, we need to teleport over to Choppy's Woods and search for this log with a bird on it. By walking up into the log for a bit, we enter the glitched world, and apostrophe whatever that is. This world has weird music and enemies that absolutely nuke us, but the reason we're here is this world allows us to walk through objects. By entering the glitched world and walking up and right, we find the red chest containing auto shield floating in the middle of Lilygear Lake. With the auto shield chip equipped, a constant neon wall will appear to protect our party members by absorbing 50% of all the damage we take. It also protects us from another thing, but that isn't important right now. With one shield equipped, I ask, why not more? It's time for the shield bytes. Block 5, Block 20, and Block 50. These bytes can be bought from Lolbit's shop in the Mysterious Mines, which we enter through Choppy's Woods. And finally, these bytes don't cost my entire net worth to purchase. They only cost 2,550 Faz tokens for all three. If I'm being honest, I already sold 3 kidneys to pay for my other stuff. Don't ask where I got the third. Just from the name, you can probably assume how these shields are gonna work. Whatever damage we receive from an attack gets either 5, 20, or 50 subtracted from it, depending on what shield we have equipped. In case you were wondering, when combined with the auto shield, the damage received will first be halved, and then the number will be subtracted from it. Great, now we got some more bullshit. I still can't heal, what's the point? If we look back at some of the previous bosses and compare their stats to Overclock, yes, he attacks extremely fast, but he doesn't really do that much damage. So to counteract his super fast attacks, what if we make him do a lot less damage? Like, a lot. On average, Overclock does around 460 damage. By equipping the Curse status chip, this decreases to 230. And by adding the auto shield chip, it decreases down to 115. And finally, by equipping the Block 50 byte, his average attack decreases all the way down to 65 damage on average. This is by no means a small amount. Mangle has the most HP out of all of our party members with 140. So yeah, it's not good, but it's a start. So by using the best possible loadout, which is this, we can get guaranteed damage with the boss strains and get RNG based damage with the counter bytes, Freddles, and the UFO. And after hours and hours of attempts, this happened. Yeah, I couldn't do it. By using the loadout I just showed, which I believe to be the best one, I tried pretty much every loadout you can think of, but I also might be stupid. I don't know. Anyways, in addition to the hours and hours of attempts that I already did, I did an additional 50 attempts as a test. By collecting the survival time of each attempt, I found the average time of an Overclock boss fight using this setup, which came out to be 42.478 seconds. With this average time, get ready for some real game theory because now we can estimate the damage that each of our bytes and chips will do. The boss drains are pretty simple. With the game running at 60 frames per second, boss drain 2 does around 5,097 damage, and boss drain X does around 7,646 damage. Next, the two chips. Looking at the 50 attempts, the bytes counter on average 23 times, with each dealing between 200 and 250 damage. That means we get around 5,175 damage on average. Onto the frettles. With how long we survive, an average of 34 frettles will spawn, and with them being in contact with Overclock for around 0.3 seconds and dealing between 20 to 30 damage, that means on average they do 850 damage. Finally, the UFO. It has an average of 106 opportunities in one fight. Of these, it'll land 1/3 on average and will deal 124.5 damage, meaning it'll do around 4,407 damage. So, on average, we deal around 23,175 damage. We're not even close to beating this boss. At all. Like, is this even possible? Well, let's see. Assuming each attempt took between 40 to 50 seconds, which seemed to be the minimum and maximum for survival time, I made a Python script to run a Monte Carlo simulation, which essentially does thousands and thousands of RNG simulations to determine the probability of a seemingly random event. And also by I mean ChatGPT. I told you, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. This script accounts for everything: the random survival time, boss drain RNG, counter byte and frettle RNG, and even the UFO RNG. By running this script a grand total of 10 million times, it determined that we have a 0.00038% chance to defeat the boss once. Now, that doesn't sound too bad, right? Using geometric distribution, we can calculate how many attempts this is going to take. The result: 263,158. Assuming each of these attempts were to take the average 42.478 seconds, it will take us 11,178,426 seconds to win. If I were to attempt this fight every single day for 8 hours like a 9 to 5, it would take 389 days. Or 1.07 years. Give me a second. Alright, to make sure I don't end up like Mangle from the FNaF World teaser, I'm not gonna be spending an entire year of my life fighting one boss. That's not even the final boss. So, sadly, since this boss is virtually impossible, that means our hope for this challenge is gone. It is impossible. Or is it? When FNaF World was released in 2016, a lot of people didn't like it. Some thought the gameplay was boring, some people thought the characters looked dumb, but the main issue everyone had was the game was extremely broken.
What the why am I in the void? Why am I in the void? My FNaF 3 reflexes kicked in. I hit F1 and F2 at the same. The game just crashed.
Glitches would happen all the time, seemingly for no reason. Among these glitches was this bird glitch, discovered 5 years ago, which got this comment from Scott Cawthon. Ladies and gentlemen, the migration glitch. By playing the game on a laptop rather than a PC, we're able to stall specific game events by closing the laptop screen while the game is still running. But the important part of this glitch isn't the events that are being stalled, it's the events that are not being stalled. For example, in Fazbear Hills, every 5 seconds, there's a 50% chance for 3 separate birds to fly in over the player. These 3 events won't be paused when closing the laptop, so if we were to sit there for 30-40 minutes with the laptop closed and then open it again, holy shit. Okay, I get it. Why exactly am I even saying all this? This video is about a FNaF World challenge run, and I'm bird watching. The reason for even mentioning this glitch is because it doesn't just make a lot of birds. The other events that can run in the background are the projectile calculations that begin when in battles, i.e. the stingers shot out by bees and the lasers shot out by UFOs. So, by entering the Overclock battle on a laptop, closing the laptop once the fight starts, and reopening the laptop a while later, this happens.
And there we go. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Easy baby. Let's go.
Look at all the Freddles, dude. What the is that, bro?
Oh my god, dude. Okay. There we go, baby. Through the power of a messy game and a really laptop, we can finally defeat the third and final guardian of FNaF World, Overclock. With that button pressed, the last security gate is destroyed, allowing us to teleport over to the Pinwheel Circus and begin the final boss fight, which is a battle against the Security Owl. The Security Owl is the final boss of FNaF World and has 100,000 HP, deals between 1,998 damage and 3,994 damage, and has a speed of 200. Well, this already isn't looking good. The Owl's speed is the lowest of any other boss we've seen, but its attack is also the highest out of any other boss we've seen. Regardless of what chips and bytes we have, we are going to be insta-killed, so the maximum amount of time we can survive is around 1 minute and 35 seconds. What I'm saying is, we need to do 1,053 damage per second. And guess what? It gets even worse, because we are forced to use the auto shield chip. Remember when I said there was something that this chip could do, but I wasn't going to mention it? I'm mentioning it. The Security Owl is capable of doing an attack of which we have never seen, the Alarm Attack, which spawns 5 balls that deal 9,999 damage to whatever party member they hit. My best strategy here is using 3 boss strains due to how long the fight lasts, and 1 UFO because there's gotta be RNG somewhere. And for the chips, Curse Status, Auto Shield, Counter Bite, and Quick Start Party. With that magical combination of bytes and chips, I didn't even get halfway. Come on, this glitch is basically the fountain of youth in this challenge. To think I wasn't gonna abuse this as much as possible is ridiculous. It's like watching one of my videos and expecting there not to be a meth or gambling joke. It's gonna happen.
My name is Walter Hartwell.
So like clockwork, I entered the boss fight, closed the laptop, waited an hour, and came back to this.
Okay. Maybe. Oh my god, dude, I have to deal so much damage. Are you serious?
Oh, maybe.
I think, yeah, it's good. Okay. Oh my god, dude. Who would have expected the bees, baby? Let's go. Nobody would have expected the bees. This is also why I use the Freddles charm. They don't even do that much damage, but it's just the fact that they're there is, you know.
Oh yeah, down goes the last boss of this challenge, allowing us to push forwards through the tent to the end. Wait, what? Who the hell is that? It's time for Omega Scott. I've moved on from beating up Frosty the Snowman from Temu and a squid that's addicted to porn. Now I'm beating up real people's online personalities using robot furries. Scott has a total of, again, 100,000 HP. He deals between 2,000 and 2,998 damage, and he has a speed of 100. With this new surprise boss, it's time for a surprise episode of What the Fuck Are We Gonna Do? Alright, get this shit off the screen. We're obviously gonna be using the migration glitch yet again. Like, look at this. We're gonna melt him. Come on. Oh, no. That mystical, magical curb stomp right there is an attack known in the game as Fourth Wall. This attack involves Scott uttering the words, and I quote, "It's Cothanin time," burning down Funko HQ, and then firing a massive blue wall at our party, dealing between 1,000 to 1,053 damage to all 4 party members. AKA, if he does this attack, we're dead. But migration glitch, the birds, come on! Our once legendary glitch, the one that was supposed to finish the rest of the game, has been dismantled by one specific attack. And that's it. I wish there was some sudden twist that I could pull out of my prison wallet to make this fight actually possible, but there's not. The ultimate game-breaking glitch was no match for the impossible FNaF World challenge. Fine, I'm lying. It might just be possible to beat this boss using the migration glitch. However, we need to do some very specific things beforehand. First, we need to change up the loadout to be purely firepower, including Evercomet, Freddles, UFOs, and the Neon Wasp. In addition to these, we also need to equip the auto shield chip, because Scott doesn't just have Fourth Wall, he also has Alarm, the super OP attack that the security owl had. With this next level equipment, we start up the boss fight, and after he's done yapping, we do the normal routine of closing the laptop, waiting, and then reopening it. After the glitch is performed, not only do we have a lot of stored up projectiles, but he also has some projectiles stored up. In his inventory, he has a ton of alarm balls, but also 1 Fourth Wall attack, so I send out the OGs to face their fears head on, literally, and hope that the toys can clutch up and win us this fight. No way! No way! Oh, I beat him. Let's go. Your game's easy. Get out of my face. Let's go. Despite all the doubts that I had, this boss and challenge is actually possible to complete. Although, regardless of the fact that the screen literally says the end, this is not the true end of the game. If the challenge ended when the screen said the end, it would have been done when I went and drowned myself. To get the game's true ending, there's 2 bosses we still need to defeat: Chipper's Revenge and Chica's Magic Rainbow. The scary, metallic, animatronic beaver co-final boss thing is here. Located in a hidden area of the mysterious mine, accessible through entering the mine entrance off of Lilygear Lake, heading down to the bottom left, and holding up left to unlock a secret locked door, is this gray blob. That's Chipper. Intimidating, right? Coming in contact with this blob begins the Chipper boss fight, in which Chipper has 200,000 HP, deals between 6,000 to 6,198 damage, and has a speed of 75. And not to worry, this fight will most definitely ruin any hope we have of using our magic laptop trick, because Chipper is capable of doing 7 different attacks. He can do his basic attack, Toxic Bite, Snowball, Jump Scare, Water Hose, Escape Key, and Fourth Wall. Hooray, we're back to feeling hopeless. With him having not only a quicker attack speed than Scott, but also double the amount of HP and still having Fourth Wall, there is no physical way to deal enough damage before we are killed. So this time, there is no joke. The migration glitch has finally met its match, and the once game-breaking glitch no longer has even a chance at defeating Chipper. At least not that game-breaking glitch. It's time to destroy this game even more with a glitch that I started to call a void battle. If you somehow don't know by now, there's two ways for a player to enter a battle, either by walking into a specific enemy trigger, like with almost every single boss in the game, or by running into a random enemy encounter while walking around. These random enemy encounters have a 25% chance to occur every 2 seconds, only if the player is moving, and for the most part, they're just annoying. A lot of the enemies in higher up areas have too much health and deal too much damage for us to be able to kill them, but they're actually going to be the thing that saves this challenge. When entering one of these random fights, the player is teleported over to an area in the top left off screen. Once here, the game will randomly select an enemy and how many will spawn based on what area we're in, as well as spawning in our 8 party members. However, the game doesn't need to spawn in our bytes nor our chips because those are always preloaded in the void after they get equipped. After some stat calculations, the fight will begin, and will end either with the player dead, resetting them to the spawn position in Fazbear Hills, or with the player being victorious, after which they will be teleported back over to wherever they were on the map when they entered the battle. So, because of how this mechanic works, something really good, at least for us, occurs when both ways of entering a battle happen on the same game tick. When getting a random encounter right upon coming in contact with a boss trigger, the game will attempt to load both battles over top of each other. This results in the random encounter going first and performing as per usual. After we kill the enemies from the random encounter or run away, the game does what it's supposed to do and schedules everything that's not universal to a fight, such as the enemies we're facing, our party, and even the background image, to be destroyed. However, since we still need to fight the boss that we triggered, the game keeps us in the top left void and runs the code to destroy everything while the boss fight is still loaded in the background. So when the time comes to actually fight the boss, anything that the two fights had in common has already been destroyed, such as the background and our 8 party members. This is a void battle. With the boss being the only thing not to be destroyed, we've essentially just been benched. Now the only thing we need to do is figure out how to deal damage without our characters being there. Wait a second, that's what we've been doing the entire time. So, equipped with some boss strains to kill the boss and a UFO to kill the enemies before the boss, it's now time to get the frame-perfect random encounter. This is gonna take forever. Real quick before this starts, I'm editing this right now, and I realized that during the gameplay, my mic is really low. Like, you can barely hear me, but I can't really do anything about it, so yeah. What the fuck? Oh, I'm getting the music. Oh, golden chest. Wait, I've got an idea. What if I play 5 Nights at Diddy's? No. No encounter. Me and Map. Goodbye, Mr. Man. I'm going to FNaF World Island. Never mind. No, dude, there's rock dudes. Shout out the Wayne. Oh, you know they call it FNaF at Freddy's. Oh, that's where I wanna be. Holy shit. Okay, that's gotta be like the fastest run I've ever seen in my life. Yo, Freddy, where are you going, bro? Maybe. No. Oh, look at how close that is. It broke again. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That might be
Maybe. If it's not, that is like a couple milliseconds away from it. Maybe. Oh, that's it! Yo, that's it! That's it! Oh my god, now I just have to sit here for 11 minutes. Let's go! That's it, dude! Oh my god! We did it! Let's go! Let's go! Come on, dude! Let's go!
Finally, after 5 hours of resets, we got the Void Battle and we were able to take out the penultimate boss of this game, which also gives us a trophy. Hey, you know what? I'll take it. With nothing else left to do in order to stall, well, I guess I could go fishing. Fuck. It's time to head into the game's final area. Halloween land. I don't know how to make that sound cool. Unlock by either walking in this house and speaking with the desk man. I'm bad at small talk. Or by walking through this fake wall of trees to use a portal, the player will be teleported to the Halloween update backstage. The main reason this area exists is for unlocking the 8 Update 2 characters. You can do this by playing different minigames throughout the map. I can't. I guess I could just play it and lose? Alright, this sucks. Apart from that riveting experience, there's only one other thing that we can do here, and it's not talk to Balloon Boy's ass. Moving over to this house's portal places us in the Geist layer, which is quite literally the worst area of all time. Unlike Halloween Land, which was a completely different map, the Geist layer is on the same map as the rest of the game, so we can once again encounter enemies. The enemies in this area consist of Neon, Jangle, and P-Goon. Okay, the joke's writing itself. The reason I'm even mentioning these enemies in the first place is because they are on methamphetamine. Neon has 26,030 HP and deals between 400 and 412 damage. Jangle has 27,060 HP and deals between 416 and 420 damage. Why are you smiling? And P-Gooner has 28,110 HP and deals between 424 and 428 damage. Yeah, they're not too great, but remember that a max of 4 of them can spawn every single encounter. Now they're really not great. These 3 enemies also know 8 different attacks. The basic attack, toxic bite, snowball, jump scare, water hose, escape key, fourth wall, and alarm. It's safe to say that these enemies aren't just going to be a problem, they're going to be the death of us. But what if I told you that they aren't even close to being the worst part of this area? Speaking with Fredbear outside of the lair, we're told that this area is filled with toxic air that will drain our life. He also says this fight is unbeatable, but shh. The effects of this toxic air can be seen upon entering a battle, where it will drain all 4 active party members' health by 1 every 0.03 seconds. The only way to avoid this damage is to unlock either Nightmare Balloon Boy or Nightmare Ione and use the Bubble Breath move. That's gonna break 2 rules. I'ma pass. Anyways, if we somehow manage to follow this path and make it all the way through the lair, we will reach the true final boss. Mega P-Gooner. I'm kidding, that's not the final boss. The real final boss is...
Welcome to my happy fun Rainbow Land! Let's start with something simple.
Chica's Magic Rainbow has a total of 500,000 HP. Holy fuck. And has 2 different attacks that work in weird ways. One attack is her mini rainbows. If there's less than 25 mini rainbows present, then there will be a 50% chance for one to spawn every half a second. These rainbows will crawl towards our party members, and if they come in contact with any of them, they will deal 999 damage. You're supposed to kill them by either using Fourth Wall or Mega Virus, or you can block them with Neon Wall 2. In this challenge, we can die. Her second attack is done after 3 minutes have passed in the boss fight, and it's just a laser beam of death that insta-kills our entire party. Needless to say, we've got to figure out a lot of stuff. how to avoid damage from both the toxic air and the mini rainbows, and how to deal 500,000 damage in under 3 minutes to avoid the insta-kill. Luckily, we have the perfect solution, the motherfucking void battles. It'll for sure help out with all the dying stuff, but the 500,000 damage might need some more attention later. First order of business though is figuring out how to deal with this area's enemies, because we have to encounter some and get past them in order to do the glitch. How do we do that? Be a bitch. More specifically, we're going to be using the run feature. By holding down the R key in a fight, a value is created by using this equation, which consists of 10 plus the number of enemies we are currently fighting, plus the number associated with whatever area we're in, multiplied by 2. Here's the numbers if you're wondering. The game will then choose a random number from 1 to whatever the created value is every 0.2 seconds, and if this number is equal to 1, then we will run away from the battle. If the run luck chip is equipped, the 10 present in the random value equation will become a 5, the checks will happen every 0.1 seconds instead of every 0.2 seconds, and the area value will no longer be multiplied by 2. Surprise, surprise, I'm back to being a gambling addict. With that figured out, it's time for order number 2, double quarter pounder with cheese. How do we deal 500,000 damage in 3 minutes? I'm gonna answer that question with a question. Would you like one game-breaking glitch or double it and give it to the next person? Sorry about that. It's time for a full circle moment where we combine both the migration glitch and the void battle to finally end this challenge. So with everything in order, I reset for another 8 hours to get this. Oh, maybe.
Surprise!
Wait. My guys appear. Oh no.
I have faith in you! Come on, you can do it! Aw, don't give up! You're stuck. Learn to play? Wow, what a moron! You still suck! Noob! Dumbass.
It didn't work. Because of the toxic air removing health directly from our characters, rather than it being an attack which physically hits them, it meant not having our party spawn in did nothing. The toxic air took out the toy animatronics by just removing their HP directly, forcing the game to respawn the OG animatronics, which of course resulted in us dying. I thought that was it. I thought it was the perfect culmination of everything we did throughout this entire challenge, but unfortunately, it wasn't perfect enough. For the actual final time, there's sadly no twists. The impossible FNaF World challenge is truly impossible. Is what I would say if I was a liar. Kinda. Alright, before we get started with this, we have one thing to do first. Look at the rules. Taking a peek at all 6 rules, you'll notice one thing is missing, and I'm gonna exploit that. In order to beat this boss, I'm gonna harness the power of the greatest video game player of all time, Billy Mitchell, and I'm gonna cheat. If I'm being completely honest, there is no glitch or method that we can use to beat this boss with the rules that I set, at least that I know of. So the real reason for this section is to see how many rules we would need to break in order to beat the challenge, and also just to show off some cool shit. Now, getting back to the game, the way we're going to be cheating is not by breaking any of the challenge rules. It's by editing my save file. It's not technically breaking the rules, but it is cheating. By opening the FNaF World save file, labeled FNaF W1, we're smacked in the face with a bunch of words that look like they mean absolutely nothing. But the lines that we're looking for specifically are the rows stating S1 through 8. What these 8 things stand for is our character slots. S1 to whatever counts as what slot the selected character will be in, and it's set to a number between 1 and 48, with all of those being connected to a respective character. But you can't just change the different characters, that's against the rules. I know. Instead of switching the slots to new characters, breaking the rules, we're gonna edit all the slots to be the exact same starter character, essentially aiding them. Octupling them? There's 8 now. Great, now we can have a Discord mod's favorite party. What the f is the point of that? With this party, we're gonna break one rule one single time. We're gonna use a move. To make sure we're doing the bare minimum, I'm gonna use Toy Chica's water hose attack, since it will only insta-kill an enemy with less than 30% HP, so it does nothing when we use it at the start of the fight. By using a move with 4 duplicate characters in our active party, this happens. Yep, that is Schrödinger's Freddy. The way this glitch works is, when one of our duplicate characters attempts to use a move, the code for that attack freaks out because there isn't supposed to be multiple of the same character. So it attempts to do 4 attacks at the same time to compensate for all 4 characters that exist, but 3 of these characters aren't granted to do an attack in the first place because we never pressed their attack button. As a result, the game freaks out even more and doesn't know what animation to play for these 3 characters that are attacking and also not attacking. So the game says f it and grabs this random default Freddy from off screen labeled attack and just drops him in the 3 spots to do the animation. And now that Freddy is in Smash Brothers, the game continues to say f and keeps them there, because since Scott never intended for those Freddys to spawn, the game isn't programmed to destroy, kill, or remove those 3 Freddys. And because these Freddys are default assets, they don't have any health, so toxic air and any other attacks can't kill them. Yeah, we just spawned a gang of invincible Freddys. With these Freddys added to our party, we can use the legendary migration glitch to do this. No! The time doesn't stall! No, bro, no! Oh my god. The game once again laughs in my face because it didn't even work. The migration glitch failed us once again because if you couldn't tell, the timer on this boss fight doesn't actually get stalled as a result of the glitch. So, while we wait for the projectiles to pile up, this timer is constantly running down, and when the rest of the game starts back up again, we are basically insta-killed. If you were wondering why the invincible Freddys can be killed even though I said that they couldn't like a couple seconds ago, it's because unlike regular insta-kill attacks, which just destroy the character, the Rainbow Cannon attack moves the player to a completely different game scene entirely. It's basically like its own game over screen. So the game doesn't even have to destroy the Freddys at all, because we aren't even in that part of the game anymore. With that said, that's it. There's no way, even if we cheat, to beat this boss. It is that ridiculous. Unless we do one thing. Boom, FNaF World info file. Boom, beat game 7 equals 1. Boom, rainbow trophy, which you only get if you beat the boss. Oh yeah, we beat the game, suck my balls. There we go. Today I'm answering the age-old question, is it possible to beat the impossible FNaF World challenge? Meh. Beating the full base game, which is technically what we're supposed to do, is 100% possible, but Update 2 isn't really possible. You know what? F it, I'm counting that as a win. Like I said when I was talking about Chica's Magic Rainbow, the real reason why I even mentioned the fight, despite it being impossible, is because I thought that the glitch was pretty cool and wanted to show it off and explain how it works. That's it. I had a lot of fun doing the research and strategizing for this video, and of course, I always have a good time explaining the AI of these games, so hopefully you thought it was at least pretty cool. I've got a bunch of challenges recorded or being recorded, and I just have to decide which video I want to make next, but trust me, all of them are really interesting, so make sure you mark your calendars for like 3 months from now. And as always, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.